Hello everyone, my name is Christina. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, this is my first time on camera on my channel. So I kind of need to welcome myself, really. But I've started this channel a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, and I was doing readings. As you can see, I think they're still all up there, or up here. But I took a break from them, a long break from them, just because of time, commitments with work and all that. It was something I started during COVID. And I stopped doing the tarot readings on the channel, and I didn't think that I was going to be returning to them at all, really, but things change. Things did change. Years have gone by, and my in talking with my spirit guides recently, probably in like the last maybe week, 2 weeks, they said you need to start reading again, and you need to start your channel again. And I was like, really? And I was like, okay. So I was like, all right, well, if you want me to, I will. And I was like, well, what am I going to read on? And then there was the situation of what was I going to read on, what was the frequency, all that. Because what I was doing before and the frequency I was trying to record at before was not workable. I was doing love readings a lot, and which are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wasn't really feeling it. So I had to ask them. I was like, what exactly do you have in mind? And based on what they said, I'm going to do things differently. This is my first video. I'm going to see how it goes, first of all. But if things go well, I will continue with videos and putting up content. What my guides and my deceased ancestors, deceased relatives told me that they, after some debate and after some brainstorming on my own with a friend of mine and thinking about a couple of friends of mine actually, about what to put up, they told me that they want me to focus on things that are more relevant to the larger general population at this moment, specifically current event type things, topics that won't necessarily, there are plenty of people out there who in the last few years, but particularly about the last 8 months, 8 more months really than that, have been covering the political situation here in the United States. And there are a lot of good readers who do that, and they read the news, they watch the news, and they report on it on their channels, and they pull cards or go to spirit and clairvoyantly or clairaudiently or whatever get information. I'll do a little bit of that, sort of. Mostly it's going to be, if it's anything about politics, today's reading is going to be about politics. It'll be about larger, broader issues, not the day-to-day goings on in the White House or elsewhere that we're hearing about on the news on a regular basis, because there are plenty of people who are doing that and doing it quite well. I don't feel that I need to do that. What I am interested in doing, though, aside from larger current event type things, for lack of a better term, we're going to call it current events, is going to spirit with the cards and delving into some unsolved mysteries, mysteries of history, historical mysteries, and seeing what we can find out about those. This is all for entertainment purposes only. I might get something to go across the bottom that says that, or put a slide at the end that says that, because I know the censors will probably get mad at me, and try to knock me off the platform, like or shadow ban me, like they're doing with so many other people. But yeah, we're gonna go into current events. We're gonna go into our historical mysteries, unsolved murder cases, maybe, just unsolved crimes in general, and lastly, my guides told me that for the good of everybody, they'd like me to do readings about work and money, work and finances. Not giving financial advice, but kind of giving predictions about what people who are students, retirees, employees, self-employed, whatever, can expect for the month as far as work is concerned. And we'll probably be doing a couple videos, 2 to 3 videos a month, instead of trying to do like 12 a month, like for all the zodiac signs, like I was doing before. Probably do 2 or 3 videos a month. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What you can expect from me. Now that I've come back to YouTube. I do have a cat who may be joining us for videos, especially because she hears me talking, and because I'm essentially talking to myself at the moment. She doesn't hear me talking to anybody else, so she may get up on the table and walk across the table and do what she does. She's in the room behind me actually taking a nap. Yeah, she's taking a nap. But yeah. So that being said, let's get started. What we're looking at today, that my guides told me to do, they told me to do this yesterday. They said to look at the energy behind outside interference in the most recent thing that we did in this country in November, at the beginning of November. I'm going to kind of speak in code because, again, censors. So, that thing where we shows things in November, shows people in November, they want me to look at the energies behind that. And I was like, okay, fine, but like I was saying earlier, lots of readers have covered that actually by now, and very well. And granted, it's still something that in this corner of YouTube we're talking about, but still, it's like, that's kind of old news. Shouldn't I kind of do something that's a little more current? But they said no. This is what to start with. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna look at the energy behind what happened 8 months ago in November, and then we'll see where we go from there. I've got some other questions connected to that we're going to ask, but I think some questions will come up as we go along too, that pertain to this. But yeah, let's get started. So let me finish shuffling. Cards don't want to shuffle today very well. I'm looking over to the side because I have my notes over here. So. That's the last shuffle. 0, they're all going kind of catalogus. Okay, come on down. Alright, what's the energy behind, not taking those, I was sloppy shuffling. What's the energy behind potential outside interference, or outside interference in the thing that happened in November? First card is the Four of Swords. I just heard somebody asleep behind the wheel. So, meaning there are individuals who for sure weren't aware of what was going on. Put those back in two. The way I shuffle, I try to get flippers, cards that jump out of the deck, so sometimes it does take me a while to get those. So bear with me. Put those back too. Okay, let me get myself centered again. What's the energy behind outside interference? There we go. Two of Wands. What those cards are saying to me, Two of Wands, let me stop here for a second. The Two of Wands is about making a choice, making a selection. You see here, in the traditional deck, that shows somebody who has one wand, in one hand, and the other wand is kind of in front of him or to the side of him, and he's looking off into the distance over an expanse of water, an expanse of land, trying to figure out what it is that he wants to do, he or she wants to do next, and preparing to make a choice so he can make some sort of plans about what he wants to do next. So, since it's a two, it is about a choice, and what I like in this card is I don't know how well you can see it, but it's it's like a game show, like the set of a game show, and you have to pick what's behind door one, what's behind door two. And that's what was going on in November. You had to pick door one or door two. But with the Four of Swords, this is crossing the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is the heart of the matter, and it's saying that people were asleep. They weren't paying attention. They were, and I shouldn't say they, we, even on a worldwide stage, we were asleep. It was like we were, I want to say it's like we were drugged. I don't know if anybody out there has read Brave New World, but and this was not a favorite book of mine. I had to read it in middle school or high school. I think it was high school, but I think it was high school. There's this drug that people in the book take, and it's called soma, and it's essentially a narcotic, if I understand correctly. And I think there is such a thing as soma, really, but in this book, it's something that kind of numbs you out, knocks you out, like any drug. And it's everybody in society takes this. And it's been a long time since I read Brave New World, and I'm sure, not even sure, I know that that's coming up for a reason, because there are some really deep connotations between that book and what's going on right now in the world. But you'll have to forgive me, because I haven't read in a long time, and I don't recall it, but I do recall that. And it's like we were totally numbed out that when it came time to pick between door 1 or door 2, we were so unaware of what was going on. We were so unaware of what a lot. And when I say we, I mean collectively. There were some people who were a little more unaware than others. But I feel like we were unaware on a larger scale of what was going on. We thought it was business as usual. You know, there's that questions as to whether it really was business as usual, if things really did occur the way they were supposed to. Bottom of the deck right now is the moon. That shows you there are things going on while we were asleep that we weren't aware of. Things that were hidden. Put that back there. Let me keep going. All right. Ooh. Put both of those back. I'm sorry, this has been one of those days. Pull my notes back up on my phone, I'm sorry. Okay. What was the energy behind outside interference? 5 of Swords. This is the energy in the past. Somebody wanting to win by any means necessary. Notice the red hair. I say notice the red hair because this reminds me of the orange one. Some people refer to him as the felon. Some people call him F45. I think I'll just call him the orange one. Somebody who wanted to win and did win for entertainment purposes only, win by any means necessary. And they're smug about it. They're smug about it. That's the energy in the past. The far past. And not only that, but this is somebody who, let's think back to the thing we did in November of 2020, I believe it was. He was convinced, because this is resurfaced now, convinced that the opposition who won that thing, the ELECTION in 2020, cheated. And what that was is a projection, or was a projection, of the orange one's own plans, desires, the way he would have handled it were he in the Dems' shoes. Again, winning by any means necessary, even if it's treasonous, even if it's just unfair and dishonest. He's not concerned about any of that, any of those types of things, as we know. The 8 of Cups. This is the current energy. what I'm getting with the Eight of Cups is about people walking, or a person in the traditional deck. It shows a fella walking along a path at night. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach making noises. Walking along a path at night, and there are 8 cups behind him that he's leaving. He's going in search of that 9th cup. The 8 cups are all about things that are no longer of interest to him, things that no longer serve him, things that are no longer enjoyable. And turning your back on those and finding what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly need, what is in your best interest to have or to experience. And I think in conjunction with these two cards here, they've come out of this Four of Swords energy where they were so numbed out and they were so unaware that anything could and anything did happen around them, whether they were aware of it or not. Okay, and this card wants to come out too. 8 of Swords. I'm actually going to put this with the 8 of Cups because they were trying to come out together. 2 8s. 8 of Swords, 8 of Cups and 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is about feeling that you're stuck, feeling as if you don't have a way out, feeling as if you don't have a choice, feeling as though you can't take action. It's like a paralysis. And you're blind too in it as well. You can see the blindfold that this, you kind of feel like this frog that's being, hopefully they don't ding me for this, you kind of feel like this frog that's being cut open and dissected. You can't do anything. You can't go anywhere. And you're also not able to see what's around you. So I think these two cards together in the current energy are about coming out of this, this energy where you feel stuck and moving forward, saying, I really don't like this. I don't like this feeling. So I'm gonna take a leap and I'm just gonna go. I don't know what's, under this. I can't really see because assuming that this fellow is jumping into a pool, I can't really see what's at the bottom. Can't really see what I'm jumping into, but it's got to be better than this. It's got to be better than this 8 of Swords where I'm stuck, or I feel stuck, and I feel helpless, and I can't do anything, and I can't see. So I may as well jump. I think that's where people are now. Okay. Two of Swords. This is the overarching energy. People are still in the dark about, there's a lot here about, so far in the spread, about blindness and being unaware and being stuck. And although people are coming out of it with the 8 of Cups over here, the bottom line is there's some shady stuff that is going on. We don't know everything. We can't see everything. And I've just kind of feeling they'd really like it if we kind of stayed in this energy and just kind of swept the fact that we don't know everything, see everything under the rug. They don't want us to think about the decision that we made during the thing in November. and they don't want us to be making decisions now about how to move forward once we get to the next cycle of ELECTIONS's. They were banking on us being in the dark, being unaware, and we were, which allowed things to occur. And it's funny that I'm not getting any cards necessarily about that per se, like who did what. And I don't, there's been so much in the news about it, and there are cases that are moving forward about interference, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, that it probably doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter that there aren't any cards so far out here about who did what when, etc. So, lesson to be learned in this situation. Lesson to be learned in this situation. 5 of Wands. Again, this is, and the King of Pentacles tried to come out of the deck. 5 of Wands is about chaos, infighting, competition. The lesson to be learned, there are a couple things here. There's somebody, the orange one, who he can't handle competition, can't handle not winning, or the idea of not winning, which is why the 2020 thing was and is such a stone in his shoe. But again, I'm getting, the lesson to be learned is to realize and to see that we were being manipulated, we were being played one against the other, and are being played still one against the other, although people are getting wise and have gotten wise. But again, they were banking, in order for this to work, they were banking on us remaining ignorant and fighting amongst ourselves over the King of Pentacles, who is the orange one. And he took a gamble to do it and played a percentage, and it worked. But as we know, it worked to begin with, it's not working in the long run. The outcome is the Lovers. Again, we're going to when it comes time for the next big ELECTION, knowing what we know now about the orange one, about what happened, because it was not a fair experience for everyone. Knowing what we know now, I feel like people are going to be, with the Lovers, I'm reading this as both about relationships and being and choosing and being discerning about who you're laying down in bed with, who you're deciding is your friend, who you're deciding is going to represent you in the government. I feel like people are going to be taking that a lot more seriously, with the Lovers card as the outcome. And the bottom of the deck is Death, is the Death card. This is a huge transformation. And if nothing else, and other readers have said this, there's no going back to the way things were. The death comes for all of us. We all have to die. All things end, but all things also, a death is also a transformation. Nothing stays the same, and you can't go back. There is no going back. There is no going back to the way things were, quote unquote, before. Come back up now. There's no going back to the way things were before. So people have to change the way that they're making decisions. I can't see myself. People have to change the way that they're making decisions. What they're basing those decisions on, I just heard. There's more thought that has to go into it. It has to be treated like a chess game. It's not checkers, it's chess. And if you don't know how to play chess, then I think we all better, I don't, but we all better learn how. Because the future of our country is going to be resting on that decision. What pieces we choose to move forward on the chessboard. Okay, so let me go back to my notes. We're 31 minutes in. I'm trying not to make this too long. It's already longer than I anticipated. Let's, in the same vein as what we were talking about, let's shift, because I did mention this. As you know, if you've been listening to the news, there are some areas of the country, oh my goodness, where they've noticed some discrepancies in the election returns. I said the word, oh dear. There have been some discrepancies, and I think the biggest one at the moment is Rockland County in New York. Let me Let me pause this and pull something up for a second. Just give me a minute. Okay, so we're back. As I was saying, as you know from a couple weeks ago, that there's a county in New York, Rockland County, where they have a lawsuit has been filed. I believe the lawsuit's already been filed. And they are currently in discovery and requesting documents as part of the discovery process because they are questioning the accuracy of the results from November. And they have reason to, because of because of it seems that there were some discrepancies, some issues in the votes that were counted for certain individuals. In New York, things did not add up. The issue with the voting machines, there were some irregularities in what came out of the voting machines. And it sounded like, or it seems like, based on those irregularities, that the orange one did not win the election, and that there were some other individuals who were voted into office, allegedly, in Rockland County, who should not have been because there was missing votes, missing ballots, irregularities in the ballots. And it's all statistical, this has been studied, things have been counted. There were Democrats who were voted for Senate, a specific Democrat who was voted for Senate, Kirsten Gillibrand. But none of those individuals apparently voted for Kamala Harris for president, which would be a little odd. So let's see what's going to happen. We're just doing very, very general. What's going to happen with the Rockland County lawsuit? Lovers in reverse. Oh my goodness.
Hi, Sophie.
My cat has come out to visit. But she's not getting up on the table. I'm going to try to get all these cards out first and then talk about them. Come down. Eight of Swords again. Okay. Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. I shuffled these fairly well, so I'm surprised that there are repeats. The Emperor. The Moon. Things that are hidden, that are happening in the dark, that we can't quite see clearly, that need to come out, need to come to the surface. The Tower and the Five of Pentacles. The Pentacles for me are the actual votes. And there's another reader, Libby, I think it's Libby, who views the Pentacles, among other things, she views the Pentacles as the votes. Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. I'm inclined to agree with her on that. So in the past, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like that's the count of all of the votes that, or the alleged vote count that we had in Rockland County. And I think, honestly, the outcome is going to be that since what do I have in my hand? Sorry. This is kind of a new way of me shooting videos. I have to get used to it, and I can never remember what's on my right side, what's on my left. It's a little difficult for me. But Five of Pentacles, 5 is half of 10. Five is half of 10. Maybe it may come out that at least half of the votes were not counted or were thrown out. That's going to be a huge problem for the administration. The Tower. The Tower is like the hand of God coming to destroy something that needs to be destroyed. It was something that was built on a faulty foundation. In this case, we're talking about an administration for entertainment purposes only. I have to keep saying that, that was built on a faulty foundation, a dishonest foundation. Half of, and we're speaking about Rockland County specifically, I'd say with these cards here and the Ten of Pentacles in the past, about half the votes that went to the orange one. Only half of those were legit votes for him. The others were for Vice President Harris. And that's going to be revealed. That's going to be coming out. I feel the Queen of Cups is the underlying energy. I'm not sure. I'd have to check these things, or check this specifically. But I feel like there is a female individual. It doesn't have to be, but I was getting this a little bit earlier too, and I didn't say anything. But there's a female individual who is at the heart of this lawsuit and complaint. I have to look at this again because unfortunately I got on here and I didn't quite get everything. And it's saying that I need to plug in my computer, so bear with me for a moment. I'm going to have to take a little pause, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Come on down. Come back down. So, what was I saying? I feel like this is the person who's brought the lawsuit, this Queen of Cups individual. This is the person who's brought the lawsuit forward. And let me see. Eight of Cups. Again, this is walking away from something. I just heard walking away from the fallacy. Walking away from the fallacy of, walking away from the fallacy of this Ten of Pentacles, of the results that we were given. Sensing that something wasn't quite right. And that we couldn't really be stuck the way we are, or the way we have been for the past, what's it been, 7 months? So it's not even been a full 7 months since the inauguration. There are things that are going to be revealed. Things are not as they seem. Bottom line, things are not as they seem. And once this happens, where we find out that only half of the votes were legit, and the other half were tampered with or disappeared. Once that comes out, we're not going to have a whole lot of choice as to what happens next. Things are going to, I'm not going to say things are going to go south, but everybody's going to start looking and being aware. They're going to come out of this energy. They're going to wake up. They haven't really woken up yet, and more states, more counties, states and counties that were critical to winning elections, swing states specifically, they're going to come out and they're going to start assessing their own results and trying to figure out what happened, if anything, and there more than likely was something, I will say for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, what happened in their states. And they may have to do recounts there. To see who actually won. Oh, and the Magician card was under the Six of Wands. The Magician is the shell game. Who manipulated? Who has zoomed who? There's been some manipulation. A game has been played. It's time for that to be revealed. There's been a hoax. It's time for it to be revealed. And I'm dropping cards. All right, we are at 45 minutes. I had another question that I wanted to ask, but I think I'm going to do that as a part of another reading. I've got this deck here that I'm called the True Crime deck, and I'm going to pull some cards from it about this Rockland County situation. I'm going to try to be brief. I don't want to keep it any longer than I already have. Thank you for everybody who's stayed and watched this. So, I love long readings, but I know other people don't. So if you stayed and watched this, and if you liked, if you commented, if you subscribed, if you're a new subscriber, thank you. Please leave a comment if you'd like to. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear your thoughts. This was kind of difficult because there wasn't really anything new here to talk about, but I gotta start somewhere. And it was fun to sit here and talk to you guys about this, even though, you know, it's not new news. And I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants because I wasn't quite ready or planning to do this today. Okay. What's going to happen with the Rockland County? I'll put that back in here. What's going to happen with the Rockland County lawsuit? How's that going to turn out? Death. Okie dokie. Mind control. This is kind of like that magician card that I showed you earlier. A game has been played, minds have been played with, and I think this is referring a lot to the MAGA folk. But with the death card's about ending. So again, this mind control, like we were getting in the first spread, the mind control, the manipulation, people have gotten wise to it, are getting wise to it, whether they want to admit it or not, whether they will admit it or not, ever, really. They've been played. They've been played, and they're realizing that they've been played. They're realizing that they've been played on multiple levels. The results are just one piece of the puzzle. They're just in one way in which they've been played. What's going to happen with Rockland County is justice. Okay. You're not going to be able to get away with it. You're not going to be able to get away with it. And Phil. Rosie from Rosie's Insights refers to the orange one as trash rather than by his full last name. And that this just reminded me of that. But also, I think this also speaks to the votes. They're going to find the votes that were discarded, or that were altered, which is as good as throwing them away, really. Those are going to be found. Family. Okay. Serial killer. Okay. What? This is an odd mix, odd couple of cards to get. The family, I feel, refers to. Sorry, I'm kind of covering up the cards a little bit. The family, I feel, refers to the United States as a whole. And the family, the United States, the world, actually, the human family is going to find out, or I shouldn't say find out. In their heart of hearts, I think they know that wool has been pulled over their eyes. more than once. Serial killer is somebody who goes about, it's what the words say. They go around killing one person after another. It's not a one and done. This interference, this election fraud, I said the word again, pardon me, it's not a one and done. It's happened all over the country, and that's going to come out more and more. We'll be hearing more and more about it from more and more different places. We know we've heard that it's been tried in other countries. It was tried in other countries as well. They're having to do recounts in other countries now, or they had. I think those recounts have been done. I think again, I had to do this on the seat of my pants, so I wasn't able to verify everything. That's my fault. Don't hold that against me. But yeah, this isn't, with the Rockland situation, this was not an isolated incident. This is not an isolated incident. There's more than one case like this. There's going to be more than one case like this. There might be more than 5 cases like this. There may be 50 in every single state, 50 cases. There may be. All right. We're at 51 minutes. I think that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you being here with me, and I will catch you soon. If you would like to get in contact with me, I will have all that information in the description box below. If you're interested in private readings, I do private readings. I'll have my email address there as well as, as well as a list of my rates. And I hope to hear from you in the comments. Thanks very much.